What up? All right, here we go.
What's going on? Came in way too hot. Way too hot.
Please tell me you're okay.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Just Another Failure podcast with myself, Devin, my co-host over here, Mr. Matty Sill, and we got a big group with us today. We got a couple special guys here with us today. We got our friend Brian over here, who is a firefighter with the Bay Area Fire, and we also have Mr. Eli and Doug from Muertos Coffee. And what is going on, guys?
What's up, man? Thanks for having us on. We're stoked to be here.
Absolutely.
Had a nice little fundraiser today. Drank some coffee, drank some beers, and happy to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, guys. You guys are legends on the Instagram now. You guys have been killing it, and thanks for having us, So thanks for coming out today and supporting.
You guys drove all the way from Long Beach, huh?
Yeah, I came up from Long Beach. He came up from Newport. Our studios.
You guys drive together?
No, we actually flew up. So my sister works for the airline. So
JetBlue.
we're Alaska. So she works for Alaska, and we get. It's pretty easy for us to travel with her. So she hooked us up, and literally like last minute threw this together. It's pretty cool having our podcast being able to like be so portable. So literally last minute yesterday, talked to Santonio over here at B-Cent, Alco Fire. And he's like, hey, the boys at Muertos are doing the shave off, and you guys should come up because it's going to be a good time. We're going to have the firefighters up there. Eli's a good time with Muertos Coffee. Dougie's a great guy. You guys got to come up, talk to him. So that's how we ended up here. So thank you guys for having us. So, Doug, let's start with you, and we'll kind of work our way across the board.
I missed the shave off.
Oh, you
They
did?
fucking left before. Can we curse on it?
Yeah.
They left before I could get mine shaved off.
Oh, man.
So wait, hold on.
Actually, his girlfriend said, "Don't shave that."
Yeah,
Hey,
Or
my girlfriend
fiance.
actually said the same thing.
keep her. If she can accept me with this, then we're good.
Hey, so his girlfriend was like, hey, whatever you do, don't shave the mustache. So we were like joking that we should only shave our mustache and do like the whole Amish beard kind of thing. And
Or just grow the bush.
go to the
I almost went full weirdo, yeah, and just shave stash, and then I was gonna call her and be like, "Hey, you said just shave the mustache, right?" And just watch her freak out on me, and be like, "I think I'm just gonna rock it, just chin strap beard."
So, did you guys fly with all your equipment?
Yeah, this is all packs up into one bag, believe it or not. So
Damn,
it's
that's-
super portable, and like that's the coolest part is that we're
That's
able to
crazy how
travel.
mobile you guys can be with your
Yeah,
equipment.
because I mean, we were talking earlier
Yeah,
about
I figure you guys drove.
your sound quality is kind of like you can do the Zoom thing, right? But your sound quality just starts sucking on a
the worst.
podcast. So being able to travel with all of our equipment and come face to face and actually talk to cool guys like you is awesome, and it's
Admirable.
It's fun
You
for
guys
us,
brought
and we
this
get to talk to
so
cool
we didn't
guys.
Have to do the Zoom because that's the worst.
yeah.
The face-to-face is the best thing about it.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like you get like it's just an all around better environment just having the boys around like face to face.
Agreed.
Yeah, so Dougie, what's kind of like your background? Because, Eli's Folsom Fire, you're the CEO of Muertos Coffee. Doug, I was talking to you earlier, like you learned how to brew beer, and then you really got into the coffee game. You had a pretty cool story about going down to Mexico and buying a roaster.
Yep.
Just kind of like, where are you from? What are you all about? Because you're not in the fire game, right? You're not a firefighter.
I try and do everything, man. So I guess my biggest background is beverage. So it all started in craft beer. So that's what turned me into kind of like an asshole. Because like nothing is ever satisfying. And so like my friends don't want to drink beer with me because I'm hypercritical and it sucks. So I drink cheap beer, and I like cheap beer because there's no like pretense about it, and it is what it is. And then I was in beer so long, I realized that coffee was kind of like, I wasn't drinking beer every night. I was drinking coffee every day. And so I realized like coffee was what I needed daily. And so I grew up with this guy, and we kind of just had an idea. It was like, there's not good coffee in the stations. I had been fucking around with I had a small roaster at first. I had a 1 pound roaster. It was called a Be More, and tiny, but it was hella expensive, and I used to get yelled at because previous administration or girlfriend, like I would roast that in my house, and it was tiny, and I was like, all right, I'll roast with this little thing. And what you guys don't realize about smoke, or you guys probably do, but like,
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
I think me and B got the smoke dialed in.
Oh, do firefighters know anything about that? That's crazy.
like a 1 pound roaster would smoke out the entire house. A 1 pound. I mean, the thing was like you could fit in a backpack, and then I just would experiment from there, and like I tried some cutting edge shit with the roaster in the early days. Like I tried to mess around with liquid nitrogen. I had a theory that.
He has a lot of theories.
We're cooking coffee or meth? What's going on over here?
Yeah, this was there's no real literature, but like having a beer background, we kind of thought like, all right, liquid nitrogen, Guinness. So our theory was that this isn't even a theory. Like the quicker you can cool down a coffee bean, the more sweetness you retain, and without going to like a darker stage of the roast. So, I guess this is like statute of limitations, but like under the brewery's license, I'd get liquid nitrogen. So they're never gonna watch this, so it doesn't matter. Muertos, bro. This is all like partly illegal shit. So I'd pick up.
He's like cut.
I would get liquid nitrogen and kind of test this theory. Is like, can we cool these beans off immediately? Because when you roast a batch, it undergoes a cooling cycle, and we kind of were like, this isn't that efficient because the only way to cool down the beans is like it draws air out, so it doesn't cool down that fast.
So what he's talking about too is, as you guys have all seen, that cylinder as it's pulling the air, it's spinning on that swing arm, but he was dumping liquid nitrogen in that
with my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
what kind of mad scientist shit you guys got going on over here?
Yeah. So like everybody's
it's just like coffee smoking in the barrel. He's like,
there was smoke, but it was like the opposite of smoke. It was liquid nitrogen, man.
Yeah, that's
as soon as it touches the atmosphere, it's burning.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
People don't realize it's burning. So the way that it interacts with the atmosphere, it's literally catching on fire. And so people are like, "Don't touch it," and we're like, "Fuck that! We don't have any other tools."
He's just in there like flicking the wrist. No worries.
And so I mean, it worked. We validated it. It was crazy because we weren't. It's not that we were bad roasters. We were roasting outside in the wind with a fucked up roaster from Tijuana. The drum roaster wasn't even cylindrical. It had been beaten up so bad that it was like there was shoddy spots all over. So the beans weren't like always flush.
It's all squeak, bouncing around.
If you're not like aware of what the process is, like those beans will kick off that extra layer, right? It's called chafe. Yeah. And so it was everywhere. It was like raining. Like, so we were just learning all sorts of crazy shit.
On the fly. We were literally learning on the fly. But I mean, that's kind of what it takes. You got to like.
A lot of on-the-job training, right?
Refine your process. Like, experience is, I mean, I went to college, but experience trumps education, in my opinion, all day. Yeah. And, it kind of started from there and then went to Mexico. And
well, I think it's all about getting out of your comfort zone, too.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's, I think, the biggest thing in anyone's life is like doing shit you're not supposed to do to make you a better individual in general. And so I think that's why me and him are such a good team, because we're like, let's do this thing. Let's try it. And that's how we started Muertos Coffee. Is like we were in a room talking about this and going over and drinking beers. And he was like, man, check this shit out. We got to do it. And so we just started running. And I mean, they always say walk before you sprint. Well, that's not how we work. We sprint. And so that's what
he'll sprint through a wall. He doesn't this guy's not human.
So who came up with the idea? Like, let's start, like, how did that idea form? Like, was it one of you guys more than the other one? Like, I want to start a coffee company. Like, I know you have the knowledge and I don't know anything about roasting coffee, or was it kind of like a mutual thing? Like, how did this idea, and like, where does the name, like Muertos, like Day of the Dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, what's kind of like the idea behind it? And then like whose idea brought like, hey, let's start a coffee company? Then how'd that idea come together?
So Doug started the coffee thing with just like being so crafty and, let's say, scientific, because brewing beer is science. roasting coffee is science. So Doug had these ideas, and Doug has a lot of motherfucking ideas. Let me tell you, he probably has an idea right now, and he's holding up. But he has a lot of ideas, and his ideas are always usually really, really smart, but it's all about execution and like doing the right things. And so we happen to be like this little clash collab that like, one, we were already friends before, but we had the ability to like really kind of bring something full circle. And so me and Doug just started sprinting and figuring shit out and roasting in my parents' garage. But a lot of the ideas on Muertos and how everything was really started is a guy that doesn't sleep at night because he has so many fucking ideas. You know what I mean? And so
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm a 30 milligram melatonin guy at night.
Oh, dude, I
can't
have
fucking
to
shut
like.
off.
I've always joked with my buddies like I'm a natural crackhead, and like all my friends used to make fun of me about it all the time because it's like I don't need drugs. My brain's just like always running like all the time, and then like my background is aviation, and then I became a corporate pilot, and I would fly all over the world. And when we're flying, like we fly the backside of the clock all the time. So like we'll launch out of the East Coast and go over to Central Europe, and we do that in the middle of the night so we can get our owners to their meetings in the morning, right?
Yep.
And then like same thing going to Japan, like we'll fly through the night to get our owners.
You still do that?
Yeah, I mean,
You're a
COVID.
pilot?
Yeah,
That's fucking sick.
Yeah,
I had no idea. That's
yeah,
tight. I didn't know
yeah.
what you did.
yeah. So like
legit.
COVID
Country's
kind
not
of
far if you want to go steal a plane.
right.
Let's go to Japan right now.
Yeah, so like COVID kind of messed that up this year, right? And so like we haven't been able to travel, and especially the type of aircraft I fly, we do long range international flying. Like 95% of my business is all international. COVID shut the world down. We're not flying anything right now. And so, but just that mentality of like, my brain was always switching time zones. I was jumping date lines. I would go across the world and then come back and then like try to get on the West Coast time, right? So I would be up all night because my brain was in a different country, and I'd just be sitting there. And every time I had an idea, it was for a while, it was always like that joke. You have that $1 million idea in the middle of the night, and then you're like, I'll never forget this. And then like the next morning, you're like, oh, dude, what was that whole thing? So I started writing all my ideas down a couple years ago.
Bro, look at my
So-
phone. I text myself.
So question.
Yeah.
So question then, since Doug always needs coffee to like keep him going and thriving, and he always is busy and just running. So when you're in a plane like that, how are you staying fueled?
question.
So
Because I mean, obviously, coffee is a drug. Do you use coffee as your stimulant to get you to that point, or
You
what?
can't even drink coffee.
Or are you
It's
like
all-
Denzel?
Yeah.
Are you like Denzel Washington in
yeah,
flight?
so no,
you doing?
no,
Tell
no,
us.
no nose Nike, no nose Nikes, no. So
nose
yeah,
beers.
so like my adrenaline levels are already just like high. Like I'm a natural crackhead. So
There's some people like that don't need the caffeine, and I don't trust you.
yeah.
But I'm jealous because I need it. I'm not getting up without it.
Now it was funny, like not to throw another coffee brand under the table here, but so I literally didn't drink coffee. Like I hated the taste of coffee for years. Like I didn't drink coffee. It just wasn't like I would try it and I'm like, dude, this stuff tastes horrible. It's like burnt water. Like why do people drink this?
90% of the coffee industry.
Yeah. So what?
I'll humble brag ourselves. Like
No, not again. Like not to throw another coffee because like we're here to talk about Muertos. But the reason I started drinking coffee was because of Black Rifle Coffee.
Yep.
I thought the ads were absolutely hilarious. I thought their social media was funny. Matt and
Their
Evan did.
marketing budget has to be
Oh yeah. So I
more
have
than all of our
yeah.
houses combined.
I have a couple.
kill it with that.
I have a
I have a
couple-
gun. I just haven't decided to blow anything up yet.
right. You know they're
We could do this though.
Yeah, we can. And I mean, they're in Utah, so they have a little better laws. I have buddies at Black Rifle, but the whole thing was for a while I was buying Black Rifle coffee from my brother-in-law and from my parents and stuff who liked coffee, and I wasn't drinking it. And then like one day I was like, dude, I'm buying all this coffee. I should try to drink coffee. And I was at school because we have to train every year for our aircraft, and school is like the most boring. Like you're sitting in a classroom for 8 hours and talking about systems on an aircraft. Like if you want to fall asleep, just come sit in our class. Like it's not real entertaining stuff.
Good to know that you fell asleep in pilot school.
No.
Wait, hold on. Can't you just put it on autopilot anyway?
Yeah,
You know
right.
what you guys do?
So like, you know, you'll like,
basically flies
What-
itself.
yeah, right.
Not that
I
hard.
flew
like a
all the
Tesla.
way to China and didn't even know.
No, but like, so we'll get up every hour, but like sometimes like I would get to school and I'd be so tired. And so like I started drinking coffee, and like they had the instant coffee, which was awesome because I would get up, grab their instant coffee, go fill it up, and then come back in.
Wait,
and,
Black Rifle had instant
yeah,
coffee?
that instant coffee. Yeah, it's a pretty cool concept.
That is
but
tight because most of the instant coffee you get is pretty trash.
so
that's
now,
good.
now I drink coffee, but like I literally only can drink 1 cup. If I have more than 1 cup of coffee, my heart will start just
shaking.
falling through my chest.
We got
Dude,
something that's
he's-
coming that'll help you with that.
He literally starts tweaking out though. He like gets all like the super gnarly jitters, and he's like
The dude on
starts
our
scratching
team,
it, and you're like, dude, are you all right, man?
the guy that was here earlier, John, on our team, he can't drink he can't have caffeine. So we get it. It's crazy. He owns part of a coffee company. He can't drink coffee.
But he's like the same way. Like he's saying like he's been the idea guy with like a lot of stuff, and I'm total opposite. I'm like 10 o'clock. I'm in bed, like chilling, ready to go to sleep. I have like 9 missed calls from him, and I'll call him back in the morning. I'll be like, dude, what?
Well,
And he'll be like, dude, I just had these ideas last night. I'm like,
So,
go to sleep,
so
bro.
ours is kind of similar, but I just say text you in the morning or see you in the morning because
I don't even answer.
I know by the time when I like wake up and talk to him that the one idea has turned into 2 or 3 possible
Dude,
ideas.
literally.
And he has a whole entire business model.
Oh, dude.
In a Excel spreadsheet.
Oh,
and he's
well,
like,
we're not
"Bro,
that
look at
professional."
what I came up with last night. And he has some
It'll
really good
work.
ideas that I'm not going to share on here because I think we one day could execute these things. But bro, what,
This is
what
identical to what
wrong?
I don't
is
know.
wrong?
I have no
I was
idea.
gonna touch on
Not wrong. It's a good.
It's a good thing, but you're like, hey, mellow out, maybe.
I was gonna
yeah.
touch on the.
They're
guys
gonna
here
die
named.
earlier because they were so stressed on thinking all the time. And
No,
like,
We're just chilling.
I bring it back to like the name of your guys' shit, Just Another Failure Podcast. So like, anytime in business, it's really easy to get defeated and down on yourself because any second you can fucking fail, and it's not easy. All this shit is really hard, and so like sometimes I need him because he's the guy that's like, fuck this, we'll get it done.
so I think,
And vice versa, because when he's down, I'm like, "Fuck!" I
feel like we like literally have
like a whole mirror image of us.
Yeah.
like he's definitely me, you are definitely Matt,
no,
and it's literally a combo right
It's
now.
funny. It's funny you say
You
the
guys
name,
actually kind of look like us, but we just have no facial hair.
right? And
I'll
it's,
get the guy to trim my face. We're gonna copy these guys right now.
we're about to be Muertos podcast.
Hey, you can borrow my fucking Fu Manchu, bro.
Well,
Like,
I'll shave it in.
You'd rock it.
On that point, though, I think that's another thing about individuals that you surround yourself with, right? So if you are not an individual that fails, you are a failure in general because you're not trying to grow as an individual. You're not pressing your limits. You're not doing better shit or trying to do better shit. You're just content with like, I'm going to go to work from 9 to 5. And when I get home, I'm going to play Call of Duty because I don't have a girlfriend and I'm going to eat a fucking DiGiorno pizza.
I think exactly what you said there is right. And like what you were talking about, like failing in business. And we had an Olympic athlete on the show that we're going to be releasing here, right before this episode.
What sport or whatever?
She's an Olympic cyclist.
she?
Yeah. She's a
on
five.
Peloton? She on Peloton?
Yeah.
Russ Malone, look me up. I just got one. 10 rides. in.
Yeah, she's on the Peloton. She's a she's a 2-time world champion in time trials. She's an Olympian. But it was fun. I love it.
She'll whoop
Yeah.
your ass.
I know.
She's gnarly. But it was funny because when I told her about the idea of the podcast, she has this whole she's a Christian ministry thing that she works with these kids that are amputees and it's called the Dare to Be Project. And so her whole concept is finding these kids that are amputees to help them ride a bike. And she focuses on not what you can't do, but what you can do, right? And so when I told her about Just Another Failure, sometimes I have to explain it to people. Like people are like, dude, that's like the most negative name ever. Like Just Another Failure. I'm like, hold on. Like this is who we are. But when I said it to her, she was like, I get it. Like I know what you're saying. And it's like every person in business, you have that point where like, dude, this sucks. I'm over it. Like I'm done. Like I'm defeated. I'm done. I'm quitting. I'm walking away. But you can't walk away.
Bro, our name is Muertos. People go, dead coffee? Is that
All the
satanic?
time.
Do you guys kill people for your coffee?
Dead?
Yes.
It's like, no.
Yeah.
Chill.
Well, so I mean, usually this actually goes later into the show, but since that's obviously our name, we love to ask people because I mean we fail a lot, hence the name. So we like to ask everybody that comes on the show, like, what has been your biggest failure with? I mean, with like your coffee, with everything, like. But we love to laugh about our failures too. So like, what's something that during the time it sucked, but you can laugh about it now?
So as far as Muertos in business and anything, you are going to fail 100 million times, but you're going to have small victories or things that build on those victories. And that's what's the feel good. Like, example, the Movember event we're doing. This is a victory. We're out here raising money. We're out here doing things that we don't have to be doing. We don't have to be giving back to men's health. We don't have to be stepping up. Those are little victories that really solidify, like, doing good shit. That's a win. You know what I mean? But there's going to be days, shit, it could be tomorrow, where I'm like, fuck. That's it. That's all I got to say. Like, and that's easy. And so that's why having a team around you, or having individuals that are solid cats, or brothers or sisters or whatever it might be, to bounce these ideas, to bounce off the knowledge, to bounce off the opportunities, and to like automatically just climb the mountain, right? That is all what it is about. And then that vibe and the shit you're putting off and the things you do is exactly what you build and make happen. And so that's really what Muertos is about with the boys and doing this shit, because we're going to change the game. We're going to make a difference for years and years to come. And we know that, because we're going to fail a bunch.
A lot of times,
but we're
going to
win a bunch.
I need,
Right.
because like I said, when I'm like, I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. If you have conviction and you believe in what you're doing, that's him. And he's like, nah, we'll fucking do it.
Dude, I feel
this gives me goosebumps,
right.
bro.
This
Give me goosebumps.
no. This
You
is
know how many times this has happened?
no. This is crazy because literally we were going through this. We were both like, just our schedules were brutal. We couldn't find time, and he's like, dude, we can't do a podcast. Like, and I'm like, dude, we're putting these things out weekly.
Do it on Zoom. You fucking travel.
Yeah, I'm
that's
like,
badass.
and that's what it's like. I'm like, dude, I don't care
so
what.
Original and
Yeah,
dope.
that's
And that's where I'm like, dude, I don't care what we have to do, how we have to schedule it. I'm like, we're putting stuff out weekly no matter what. Whether we have guests on the show, whether it's just us, I'm like, new stuff is going to come out weekly no matter what. And it's funny because it's like you guys are literally like a spitting image of us. Like
when he's
it's
the one that's
wild.
Like, fuck, I don't know. I'm like, bro, don't do this to me.
And I don't
You're
know.
the
I mean,
one. You're the one that talks me off the ledge.
and I'm sure you go through it too,
for sure.
where he like he has his days too, where you're just like, dude, maybe
Of
we
course.
can't do that.
Yeah, of
And
course.
like I do the same thing, and then I think about like I know he gets down really easy too sometimes, and I'm just like, you almost like feel like you have to be that guy, you know, like let's just do it, dude, make it happen.
Yeah, and it all just falls back on like you build these things, right? It's not like we automatically came out and we're like, we're gonna be businessmen and kill it and do all that. We failed so many times, and there's a ton of different people that I could call out right now on like failing through, let's say EMT or paramedic school or fire stuff. Like you always go into these opportunities like trying to do different shit, and you're not gonna be the best or always know the most shit. But if you are always willing to work harder than everybody, or dedicate yourself to stuff that you know is going to make you a better individual and really push you, like that's where you just continue to win. And I can guarantee individuals in any kind of emergency stuff, just example, everyone has failed some shit.
Yeah.
Everyone has failed some shit. You've either failed in school a little bit, or you failed like at the firehouse, or you've done some shit like make a fucking really shitty pot of coffee for 12 dudes. And if you did that, not me, if you did that, you're a failure, and you better do that shit better, and you better grow from it. And that's really what it comes down to.
What's
dude.
cool about that too, real quick, is we talk about failure, right? Well, every single time there's a structure fire or any type of fire operations, there's always a mistake, right? You pull the wrong line, you fill the wrong ladder, and it's like you just have to like adapt and overcome and literally like drop what you're doing and then fix it, right? And then it's like you talk about it afterwards. You're like, man, why did I throw that, 24-foot ladder when it's a 3-story building, right? And your captain's sitting there grilling you, but you will never do that ever again, bro.
Why did I climb to the top and look back at everybody too?
It's one of those things.
Well, it's funny because like on the flying side for me, especially like flying high-end corporate personnel and stuff like that, and like I've been in private aviation since I graduated high school. I went and worked at the airport as soon as I got out of high school as a refueler, but on the corporate side of the field. Like I didn't want to be an airline pilot, I wanted to be a corporate pilot. So like I was always that guy that worked for the people that said like when they said jump, you said how high, right? So like I always feel like I could relate a lot easier to my buddies that were like deployed military or like fire guys or something like that, because you're always kind of living that lifestyle of like, I don't care what time the job happens, the job's going to get done no matter what time it happens.
Sleeps.
Yeah. And so like hustle never sleeps, So for me, like he said, like he's more regimented. He goes to bed at 10 o'clock at night. He gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning, where like I go to bed at 3:30 in the morning and I get up at noon. And like my schedule is always all over the place, but like I'll be the guy that like, he calls me up yesterday like, hey, can you do a podcast? I'm like, okay, I'm in NorCal, Devin's in Southern California. I'm like I'm already on Z, and I didn't even think A, B, or C right now. I'm just like calling the phone, and I'm like, Devin, how soon can you get here? We're making this happen. Like, I don't care. We're getting you here.
I don't
Like
need
I
coffee.
said,
Let's go.
JetBlue out of Long Beach to Sac, 30-minute flight. Let's go.
He calls me yesterday though, and he goes, so what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, well, Matt, that depends on what the hell are you gonna say after that.
What are you doing?
And he's like, well, you know, we got some people that we could line up for the podcast and get on. And I was like, say no more. Let's make it happen. What do we got to do?
So that's another game changer. Like when you find individuals that are around you that you're like, yo, let's do this.
Yeah.
And the dudes are like, yeah, let's do
It's
this.
no question.
That's what it is. Like people that are go-getters are the let's do this people. And so that's really what you guys are explaining to us right now. Like you guys are the let's do this guys, and we're about that. So.
Yeah, and like I did it with him one time, like one of our podcasts a couple weeks ago. We went to Idaho, and I didn't even know we were doing the podcast in Idaho till 10 o'clock the night before. And I literally, like, he was sitting in my living room. I was like, hey, by the way, you're getting on an airplane with me tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're going to Idaho. And he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, pack up the studio.
already got your ticket, bro.
No, my girlfriend's there and everything. And I'm like, oh, hey, yeah, so apparently I'm leaving. See you later.
The good thing is that you have the bad friend and you get away with
Yeah, I gotta blame him for everything. I'll be like, hey, Matt.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so
I'll
we
take
swapped
that
there, but yeah, I'm like,
that
Matt already did that, so yell at him. But I'm headed to Idaho apparently.
But the thing is, like, the business has to come before you, because this is a baby, and if you don't treat it like that, you're never gonna go anywhere.
And we're learning that like really hard right now too with this
there's
podcasting.
a famous poet out of Oakland named Too Short, and he said, "Get in." He said, "Get in where you fit in." But I don't believe that. I think you got to get in where you don't fit in. So, like, as soon as I got out of high school, I lived all over. Moved down to Santa Barbara, then I moved to Barcelona, Hawaii. Didn't know anybody, didn't know shit. But like, if you can adapt and kind of fit in there and be comfortable being uncomfortable, like, that's what it takes. You got to be able to like empathize with people and like just fucking.
What?
We're all,
he's saying.
All these people across the country, across the world are cool people, and there's experiences to learn. And like, business is the same thing. It's like, it's personal experience, network, is putting something before you, and just like, I don't know how to read a P&L. Like, all this shit that I didn't know how to do, like, it forces you to learn it, and then you grow as a person. And like, a lot of people are happy being like stagnant, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, I want to fucking learn shit. And starting a business forces you to learn shit that you have no idea exists. But in the end, it's like, it's a rewarding process. It's like fucking fun to learn shit and like be up at night like, what the fuck am I trying to do? And then like,
right, like, how can we be better at what we're
and you
doing?
see the
Like,
light.
what?
Well, prime example is you guys came out here on a whim to like get after it. That's what he's saying. Like, you go take advantage of these opportunities or giving it a shot, because if you don't ever take shots, then you ain't gonna be Kobe Bryant, bro.
Stoic philosophy, Seneca, fortune favors the brave, and that's the fucking truth. Like,
Here comes all this smart, weird shit that he
nah,
does.
man.
Dude, I love it. He's like throwing out poets. He's throwing out like, dude, Too Short's not a poet, but no, but I love that he hit it. He's a poet.
But it's like, it's true. Like,
You have to be multifaceted in life, right? Like, you have to be able to adapt, and you have to be able to just look at something and be like, I know nothing about it, but I'm going to go ahead and try. Like Richard Branson said that, you know, like, if someone ever offers you the opportunity to do something and you don't know how to do it, just say, I'm coming anyways.
yeah,
like, you know,
because
like,
you're gonna learn something. Yeah.
Michael Scott from The Office said,
You miss
100% of the shots you don't take.
Early worm gets the worm. Yeah.
Oh my God. So, tell us, like, when did you guys like basically come together? And
I'll tell you exactly when.
do you have like the
I have
day?
the exact time.
Tuesday,
And there was
July
a witch
13th.
involved. I swear to God.
Actually, that is true.
There's a witch involved. We were at my office.
She was a witch, and she was feeding us potion, aka alcohol.
Basil Hayden, and I was not drinking.
We got to pull Doug back in the frame.
Sorry.
Yeah,
My
Doug
bad,
keeps like
guys.
slowly siding out.
Hold on, this story is fucking.
He's just
hilarious
vibing over there. That's
because
why.
I was not drinking and they were drinking.
Okay.
We're in my office, and we're talking about coffee in the station and like how it's such a like pivotal. It's the number 2 fucking charge monthly, and there was this fucking witch. I'm not kidding. This lady's a self-proclaimed witch. She's this old kook. She's a kook. Let me be honest. She's a kook, and she lives in this town. So if she hears this, like, I'm cursed. I got the hex. But like me and Eli were talking.
She's got her
business.
doll. She's poking you already.
Me and Eli have known each other for years. Like we're from the same city. I've known Eli for a long time, and we're kind of like spitballing this whole idea. And she keeps coming in because I had a lock on my door, but the door was a glass. It's like a glass door.
Okay.
So this old woman who looks like a little troglodyte, right? She's like
Oh, what? No.
like a little troll, you know. And so she keeps coming into the door, and me and Eli are talking, and she's like, "You guys want some shots?" And I'm like, "I don't want any shots. My friend might want some shots." So she's pouring Eli shots.
He's like, yeah, I'll
Selling
take
me
some
under the
shots.
bus per usual.
I was working. I was in business mode. He was at the brewery to have fun.
Eli's like, I was working too. I was just drinking a little bit on the job. No worries.
They were visiting the brewery to have fun because this is a fucking fun ass time. And like I was in my office actually doing shit. But me and Eli were talking and like actually trying to lay out a plan. And this lady for like 2-3 hours kept trying to come in. We'd lock the door. And she would just knock on the door harder. And this is literally the day that Muertos was born.
Go away.
This was literally the day it was born.
Is this how the name comes about?
Muertos
too?
witch? Yeah, right.
Okay.
I'll let him tell his side.
not gonna say
But that's
that.
like that's literally a true story. And then I was like, who is that lady? To the owner, I was like,
She wouldn't go away either. So that like it was constant. And then when the door was open finally, like I don't know if she just kept having more bottles or
linger.
what happened, but it was. Anyways, that's how Muertos was really born. Is like spitballing and firing off like ideas and how we can do good shit or whatever it was. And I mean, look at us now. I mean, we're just stoked to have like dope individuals involved and to be doing fun and cool things for people and trying to step up in any way possible when the opportunity arises.
It's cool to like have an idea for today, and we honestly didn't know what was going to happen because COVID, like most shit shut down, and it's cool. We said, hey,
For sure, everything shut down.
No idea what was going to happen, and we got
come out to our cornhole tournament and
Yeah.
possibly be Muertos.
in the middle of in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows where the town of Winters is, and to get a turnout like that.
Yeah, I had
is-
no idea. He was like, we're going to Winners. I was like,
Yeah,
Where the hell is that?
Yeah, it's cold.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
they're gonna be pissed that we just blew up their spot.
But
like,
it's-
this is a small town.
It's pretty fucking cool that we got people to come out and support and like actually see that, hey, we're gonna do this, and people came.
No, it was a cool event too. And I mean, you guys
had some hardcore like cornhole athletes. Like, dude, I thought we were doing like a little beer league amateur tournament.
No,
out
that's
here.
a real thing,
Yo,
dude.
people brought their own bags.
It's called
People
hard corn.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude, I didn't even know there was a cornhole tournament. He's like, well, for one,
Dev didn't even actually know what cornhole was till
for one, I had no idea what was even going on. He's like, hop on a plane. I was like, cool, I'm here. What the hell is going on? And then we obviously got like the tour, and then you told us about the cornhole event, which you guys were raising money to help with like foundations, right? Movember stuff. So, and like he's like, oh yeah, cool. There's a little cornhole tournament. We'll sign up. We donated to the cause. You know, we're all about men's health. First game, dude, we get thrown into just this guy he had the cornhole shirt on. He brought his own bags on. Me and Matt are like, what?
We had people leave
What
this
happened?
morning because apparently we weren't cornhole enough.
Yeah.
We won't dive into that.
Yeah.
But
I was tripping,
it's a real thing. Like it's a
I didn't know it was like this.
dude.
it's a real
I had no
sport to where
idea.
these people like they wear like basically paintball jerseys.
Yeah.
And they have their
wearing
bags. and
football jerseys.
They have their
They wear
bags. They have their
uniforms.
techniques. They have all their stuff. And if you fuck with them and they don't like what you're doing, like you better watch
Dude,
out because you get hit in the face with
This
a
guy,
family?
this
We learned real quick.
was a
Like
family
it was like
that
we
was
got
nasty.
knocked out like round one. Like we got skunked, bro. Like I was like, bro, we didn't even get to like shoot. Like they just swap. Like
This ain't the old backyard cornhole.
No,
shit.
and then, like,
dude, he was just draining them, and we're like, okay, bro, mellow out first off. And then he's talking about,
So I put this flyer and all these things together. Last night, I'm like getting blown up, and I'm like, who the hell is hitting me up at 9 o'clock with all these random numbers? They're like, yo, what's up? This still going down? And I'm like, what's going down?
Like it's a drug deal that you have a cornhole.
I'm like, what's going down? He's like, this cornhole tournament. And I'm like, he's serious. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, you can show up at 11 and sign up and play. And he's like,
First rule of cornhole.
I'll be there. You could feel how serious these guys were.
There's only one rule about Cornhole Fight Club. You don't talk about Cornhole Fight Club. That's what it felt like, dude. It was deadly out there. It was cutthroat.
If they have a T-shirt that says something about cornhole,
you're in for it.
don't play 'em.
Yeah. Well, we learned that, but he was even going down
Dude,
to like
round 2, we got like the amateur round. Like we got like an equal playoff. Like we had guys that sucked just like we sucked, and it was fun. Like we were like, dude, it was like 20-20 at the end of the game. Like him and I had like a 12-point lead, literally like.
Whoa, Matt! Hey, don't tell him how bad we sucked. I mean, we still won, but
Yeah,
you don't gotta tell him that we almost lost. Still, mellow out.
We had a healthy lead, and these guys came back, and they're like, it turned into like a pretty solid battle royale for like the game point. We're like, dude, why can't none of us like get this game point now? Finally, like we advanced. And then, like, we just go into, like, pro mode again. We're like, okay, yeah, no.
But, dude, these guys were, like, talking about, oh, yeah, there's no center beam under this board, so it's bouncing pretty bad.
That's
I'm
what I
like,
was gonna say, oh yeah, you're the one. There's no center brace.
Center brace, yeah.
I
I'm
was
like,
I just paid for those, and I don't know what that means.
yeah, I was like, aren't they just a square with a piece of
Wood.
plywood
Yeah,
on it?
wood.
Is that, he's like, no, they're bouncing pretty gnarly. I'm like, dude, you are out of control.
It's
but-
a thing, dude. It's a thing.
But it was a sick event. You guys raised money for men's health, and that's all that matters.
Tacos were bomb.
Yeah,
Tacos
me and
are good. Shout
Taco.
out to Baldo.
Me and Taco guy. We're always behind the taco guys. Always. But should we kind of move over to, I feel like we've been skipping
Yeah, let's talk about Brian.
B Sin over here.
because I mean you kind of tie into them as well. So
100%.
why don't you kind of tell them how you're connected with them as well?
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having us today, guys. The first time I met Eli, I got a call and he said, "Hey, we'd like to come up to the Firefighter Olympics." My background, I was in a reggae rock band. Where we were playing shows all over California.
Conscious Souls.
Conscious Souls.
Conscious Souls.
Yeah. And we had a good following. We had a lot of fun. My wife was backing me. I had a couple kids, and then it was like I learned how to do all this media. So we were paying all these amazing directors to do music videos for us, and I'm just like, man, I feel like we can do this, And I feel like, why are we paying all these awesome people to do these music videos? I was creating the music. We were writing the music. We were also, just doing a great job playing some great shows with a lot of national artists. I mean, we played X Fest. I played with a lot of reggae rock bands, and it was a great time. Well, the whole time we're still firefighters. So my whole band was firefighters at the time, and we were just having a lot of fun. So long story short, I got into, just doing a lot of media, doing drone footage. When the drones came out, I was the first one with the drone, crashing it all over town, doing that. So I always had this little stint of like just being able to visualize.
That's where the air laws came in, right?
Right about then.
Why are you in my
B
window?
Cinch flying by your house with a drone.
Oh, dude, I've crashed many drones. There might have been an accident today. Maybe we don't know yet. We're still doing good. So,
Still under investigation.
but
We're not saying any names or anything, but
yeah. So I mean, just had a big media mind. Music, media. So I remember getting a phone call from Eli, and he says, "Hey, I got this firefighter coffee, and we're on Instagram, social media. I run like 9 pages, and
He's got the best in the game.
Yes, sir. So doing a lot of different media pages, really trying to show our firefighters working, showing, just the community what we do, right? And I remember Eli calls me and he says, "Hey, I'd like to come to the Firefighter Olympics," and I'm like, "Who is this guy?" So I do a little research and super impressed with what Muertos has already built, and this was literally a year and a half ago. So I figured it out. They ended up getting a table at the Firefighter Olympics at the check-in, and firefighters are coming in, and there's Dougie Fresh and Eli, and they're there, and man, they had a full table, super professional. And there was just a vibe that these guys brought off where it was like, obviously, like, coffee is firefighter culture, But these guys were like, hey, we want to do some business where we can actually give back. We've had, unfortunately, a lot of firefighters die lately. Had a brother in San Francisco, Jason Cortez, shot out. We had a brother, Sean Laughlin, in Oakland fire. We've had a couple other firefighters pass away, and these guys are literally just like jumping on the GoFundMes. They're jumping on charities. Anything these guys can do to really give back to the firefighter culture. And I'm like, man, I want to be a part of this, right? So kept in touch. These guys, gave away a lot of coffee for the firefighters, and their name is out there, right? And then lo and behold, I was able to join the team about 6 months ago and help start create some content and really just like following these guys around. I meet Dougie Fresh and I'm like, okay, there's somebody, with the brains. I got Eli, who's the mouthpiece, and they got Dougie Fresh, who's bringing the mental side. And we got Eli's whole family here.
Did you just call me dumb?
He's the mouthpiece, He's the mouthpiece. He's the mouthpiece, man.
I have no idea what I'm saying. Blah, 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 blah.
Nah, Eli.
And notice that he didn't answer that either.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. Well, these dudes just like came in and shammed me, and I'm like, dude, this is not only like.
It was an easy fit. Brian's like, it's like family.
But Eli, your brother, he's a kind of a heavy hitter. Yep. Eli's brother from, Brian kind of told me, I met him for like a quick second today, but your brother's a heavy hitter. And
He's a fucking
I mean, he's got some cool people behind your guys' brand helping you guys as well.
Right. And I mean, that's the big thing is like exactly what you're saying. Like, and that's why me and B hit it real quick, because it's like, build your team, how many times do we got to see other people that are doing good shit tell you to surround yourself with good people doing good things that are smart,
100%.
that are pushing the limits, that are trying new stuff, because
it's so hard.
It's all about growth. It's all about failing. It's all about that shit. I mean, we could dive back into it, but that's really what it is. And like, I mean, me and B hit it real quick because we're just good dudes trying to do good shit, and we love kicking it with good people, and that's exactly what we're doing today. You know what I mean? That's all what it's about.
So, touching on what these two just were talking about, it's nice to put yourself in a room and be the stupidest person in the room, because his brother put us in contact with people that it's obvious we have advisors for the first time, and people that are like giving us advice, and it's nice to be humbled and be like, oh my God, I'm learning. And so it's nice to be part of a strong team and actually get to learn from people.
And that's just how you learn in general. So example, like B's an engineer at a great department. I bet you money that B could teach me shit that I probably don't know, because he put himself around senior people and he's a third generation fireman. So he has knowledge that's been passed from years, or been put in opportunities with dope captains or dope chiefs or just people that have moved up the ladder to teach good shit. And so that's really all it is like, who are you going to meet, or who are you going to try to put yourself around that's going to help you do this, right? Everyone's about going up and trying to make the right shit happen. And so when we meet individuals like B or Brad, or when me and Doug start spitballing stuff, it's like, we know who's good people. We know who's going to push that limit, right? And so it's like, how can we push it further and further and further and further?
You got to humble your ego, and you got to realize like the only way you're going to learn is to like sit with people that are smarter than you, and be receptive to hearing advice and shit. And like, it's nice when you're not the smartest person.
We all are dumb.
We know that very well, actually.
But know exactly what you said right there, because like, I think that was something that it was cool, part of my job, like that I was blessed with, right? Like, I had the opportunity to fly people around the world that are like in the top echelon of people in the world.
Like some of the most important executives in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my job, like, people are always like, dude, you got to write a book. It's like, dude, I can never tell the stories of the people that were on my aircraft, right?
Gnarly.
Like, I can never talk about that stuff, like, like naming people that were on board, right?
Yeah,
but I sat there.
Do you fly Air Force One?
No.
Next level.
Definitely never.
Shout out to my boy D Trump.
But it's like, I mean, like, I fly people that are very close friends with our president. I fly people that are very close friends with the president's families. Like, I've flown former presidents. Like, I've had former presidents on board my aircraft. But
You've probably heard some fucking stories.
It's like, kind of.
What are you doing later?
Kind of. But my whole, whole part of that was like, for years, I was always trying to figure out in the back of my head, like, hey, exactly kind of what you guys were talking about. Like, surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself. And I had this whole idea through my process, like, dude, like, I've met like super influential people throughout my life. I've been able to like sit down and talk to people and have like, I've been able to sit down and talk to people that are like the CEO of Fortune 100 companies, right? Like, I've gone duck hunting with people that you would look at and people are like, dude, how did you even get a seat at the table with that person, right?
Is that beard sponsored by Duck Dynasty?
Yeah, right. Yeah, but you know, like it's like I've been able to go and like sit down and have dinner with these people and like executives of companies that I should never be in that spot, but since like I was their pilot or whatever, like we got invited and like you just sit there and listen. You know, you just let them talk and you just sit there.
Brian can vouch for this, just like you're saying. The fire service, when you get in and you're early, it's 2 ears, one mouth, bro.
Yeah.
You open those ears, keep your mouth shut, and you learn all the shit you need to know.
And
that's how you get good at stuff or better, right?
And that's why
So that's what you're saying. Like you gained all that knowledge, or you learned a ton from those probably individuals, right?
Yeah, and it was like in the back of my head, I was always like, how could I create something with what I've learned in life that's like beneficial to people? And like I think that's really where Just Another Failure came from, because like I told you in the text message and when we talked the other day, like we could have called this the backside of the iceberg, we could have called this the underneath the ice, but it just doesn't catch, right? But it's like, how can you show? Yeah, how could you show like? How can I just show the world like that basic skill in networking where it's so easy just to actually sit down and be a friend with someone? And like, it's not like we come up here looking like, hey, how much coffee can you give us? And like, we're here just to get a bunch of bags of coffee. It's like, we want to build.
But you know, how much coffee can we get? You know, just low key.
Yeah. But no, it's like,
I'm just kidding.
How much can you carry when you walk out of here?
Well, we know he can't drink coffee, so it's
it's like,
you can have a couple bags.
Dude, I'll drink all coffee all day.
but it's like building the friendship and not looking for what I can get from someone. It's like, how can we grow a relationship and a friendship and just like, how can we work with each other? Because I feel like there's this whole youth generation that's out there right now that's just like, how can I get this now? And how can I be with that person right now? It's like, there's a lot of steps to like actually getting to how I got there. Like I didn't just wake up one morning and start flying Gulfstreams. Like there was a ton of jobs that I had to do to actually get
Nice
that
little
spot.
humble brag at Gulfstream.
Dude, hey,
Is that how you guys met?
I was about to say, bro.
king of humble brags
Were you
over here.
one of his,
Like literally.
No
rides?
big deal.
Yeah, just fly Gulfstream. I don't know if you heard, but yeah, big Gulfstream guy. No, yeah, you
Problems, a lot
don't
of
just
people
climb
like
into
that.
those. Is that do you have to train for those?
Obviously, firefighters get the push that are like, oh, girls and firefighters, blah, 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 right? But there's nothing like a pilot over here just shooting the shot. One of my buddies is a Thunderbird pilot. For real. I'm not going to put his name out there. That's obviously not cool. But I'm like, man, I'm never going to live up to that.
Right, you'll never be that cool.
I'm so glad that I'm not his little brother.
Because you don't have to like, yeah. I mean, that's what he says that too all the time. He'd be like, oh yeah, you know, I fly. And people are like, you're a pilot? Oh, like, and I'm just sitting in the
fighter
background
pilot.
like,
Yeah.
Fighter pilot.
Yeah.
oh my god, we're gonna be here for a month while he tells everybody how he flies.
But like,
I do that to Doug with all these ideas he's firing out. I'm like, here we go.
Sometimes he does, and then he thinks about it. He goes, "Oh fuck."
Good idea.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell him.
Let's trademark
Way
it.
to ruin that opportunity.
But no, I think like there's always something to be said about having that smarter person. Like recently, one of my buddies in the Navy like started doing leadership with me, and he's a lieutenant commander in the Navy, and the dude's extremely smart. And like you start like digging into like who he is, and like when he gives you like he's one of those guys, like if he's giving you the time to sit at the table with you, like sit down and sit at the table with this guy.
Huge.
And
So you brought up real quick while we're talking about this. You brought up biggest failure or biggest regret or whatever it was, and I think for a lot of people, and I would say to younger individuals, you should go into the service because of the structure and the ability it gives you to execute and the connections that you might gain and the opportunities that you will, get from that. You know what I mean? And that's mine. Because one, or actually two, both of my grandpas served in the, different, forces and stuff. So it's just like that would be mine. But just based on that, I just had to bring it up while you're talking about it.
Yeah.
my grandparents and my great uncle were military, World War II. And like both my grandparents and my great uncle, all World War II, fought in, then half of them fought in Korea as well. But like, it was funny the other night because I have a buddy in the National Guard, and he's been like trying to get me to come in to fly, 15s or tankers with them or helis. And I was like, I wanted to do it when I was younger, and I tried to go to the Navy, but I had just like a ton of injuries, and like they did not like my medical history. But then my buddy was like, dude, cutoff age is 36. You're 33 years old. Like you should make a heavy push for it right now. So like since corporate flying has kind of died, like I've thought about going in and like looking at the military aspect, but I don't know. It's like, it's one of those things like am I too late in the game or do I take advantage of the opportunity? But it's like almost like never say you're too late in the game and always try to take advantage of an opportunity that's given to you.
Well, so I was going to ask you guys too, and I mean, I think we're kind of dealing with this a lot right now. And it's been like a learning process for us because like you said a while ago, like you have to humble your ego. So right now, getting people on the show, we're just like, we're at the point right now where we're like, dude, ask anybody and everybody, because what's the worst that you're going to get? A no?
I know.
And I mean, for you guys, I'm sure you kind of dealt with the same thing building this company. I'm sure you had people like looking where you're like, hey, would you want to join us? And they're like,
You talking
no.
about fucking haters?
Talking about them haters, bro.
Haters.
We call them fans.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you've had people where you're like, hey, we have this idea. Would you like to get behind it? And I mean, you're
really
like,
hard to establish credibility in the beginning, right? And then you get like, I mean, it sounds so corny, but like once you get a social media following, as corny as that sounds, it establishes credibility. But like
social media is everything right now.
it is, but in the early stages, like nobody wants to listen to you, nobody wants to talk to you.
Well, I think from a firefighter aspect, like there's nothing harder than sitting in front of your crew, asking your crew to be like, yo, peep this coffee, like try this coffee, like give me, well, one, constructive criticism, hit me. I want to hear it. I want to know what you want. I want to know what firefighters want, because I know what I like, but I need to know what all you guys like. But it's really, really hard to go into your firehouse and sell a product, but I'm not selling a product. I'm selling a vision. I'm selling a mission.
And himself.
I'm trying to show you guys that there's an opportunity for us to better take care of our brothers and sisters across the nation by doing the right shit. If you like the coffee, dope. If you like the shirts and swag, dope. If you don't, not hurting my feelings. But it's hard as an individual to get other individuals to go in and sell that to their firehouse, because there's always the one thing that those guys are going to say. Yo, you making money off this? You benefit off this? No, I don't care if I make a cent. I care on what I provide to my brothers and sisters for years and years to come, and that's why I'm doing this. And when it works, and when all these things happen, and when all this stuff is like everything that I told you, that is what this is about.
How was it? So I faced this with this company and other things, but like I found when especially building this, like some of my closest homies don't listen to my podcast.
Oh,
and like how many of your closest homies didn't drink your coffee?
How about
or
this? Everybody wants something free.
Yeah.
And they don't realize like I'm investing my time and my capital and shit, and like everybody's like
one of the biggest things that we get, because we make these 1-minute excerpts about these that we put on social media, because that gives like a preview of what the episode's about. And usually we find like something funny that's catchy that someone's gonna be like, I want to go listen to that episode. But like I have a lot of people too short. I have a lot of people that are like, hey bro, I love the 1-minute videos, but I'll be honest with you, I've never listened to your podcast at all. I'm like, sick. Like I love the honesty, but like what's an hour out of your day, like while you're driving to work, or like why you're just doing something just to have it playing in the background?
But that's also something that separates people that are trying to get better or trying to do shit. So a lot of podcasts nowadays are about growth or opportunities or different things, right? So there's the individuals that listen to the same music over and over again. You know that song because In Sync is your jam, and you're just listening to Bye 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 the whole fucking time.
I was a Backstreet Boy guy.
Or you're listening to
both. Let's be honest, both. I was both.
LFO.
It's gonna be May.
Or you're that individual that's like, I'm going to listen to a podcast that's going to help me grow, or I'm going to learn something, or I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity and listen to a book. You know what I mean? So there's always that factor of like, who are you going to be, or who are you trying to be, or what are you trying to do?
You guys also got to realize, like, as much as like your friends are your friends, people are only going to take like an hour out of their day or week if it's relevant. And as much as we want all of our friends to support, and we do have a really good group of friends that like support, but people only do it if they see the benefit in them for them. So like you got to find your fucking market. You got to find your audience, and like you will find your audience. But for us, like a lot of times that takes money. Like we have to actively find them. And as much as we want all of our friends to just, you know, blindly support, you got to realize an hour is an hour, and like time is the most precious material there is, unfortunately. And as much as we think it's so easy for our friends to just be like, hey, they're not going to do it unless they see the benefit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, trying to sell something at the firehouse, everybody's critical. I think it's awesome. I mean, what's really cool about the relationship here is these guys are connectors. I'm a connector. We have a big family in this thing we're growing here. And I think what's really cool about Eli and Doug is they're not only going to just like endorse you and say, oh yeah, Brian, he's a good guy. He does a lot of good work. It's somebody who's going to actively sponsor you, right? Kind of like Doug and his awesome new fiance. It's like, dude, your gal has got your back 24/7.
She's with Mr. Binkers right now.
Dude, she's not only going to be like, yeah, Doug's a good guy. It's like, she's going to constantly sponsor you, right? So how do you find those people in your life? You know, obviously your mom is always going to love you, bro. Like your mom's going to say, oh, Matty, he's the best. He's the greatest. His beard is so, so full.
He's got the thickest beard. He's so amazing.
This guy's got,
Matty boy, I love you.
Yeah, and shout out to Castro Valley here, everybody watching me and Matty still from CV. But somebody that actively sponsors you, and that's just a point I want to make, a perspective that you really need to find in those people you keep in your life, you know, and those people, because everybody's going to say, yeah, Eli's a good guy, you know, he's cool. But no, here's Eli's number. Shoot him a call.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and endorse this guy and also sponsor everything he's about. And you know what? If he makes a mistake in the fire service, you got to just own up, man. Hey, I messed up, and then don't do it again. That's what gets you fired. That's what gets you, you know, people don't like you, right? Or you don't do well in life. So,
and going back to like what you said, like he was talking about, we have tons of friends that, like he's saying, watch the 1 minute excerpt, never seen the show. But then we do have the couple people that, you know, they definitely do watch the show like religiously. And it's, I mean, he does it too, and I do it all the time. And I'm like, what is your honest opinion? You're my friend. Don't lie to me. If it sucks, like tell us. Because we have something to work on. We can better ourselves, right? But like getting that raw criticism from people is probably and it can hurt sometimes when you have the people that are like, hey.
That's what I wanted to ask you guys next. Like when you said you made a pot of coffee for 12 people and it sucked, right? Like,
No.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't his coffee.
Oh, sorry. You referenced a story. My bad.
I'm saying that's the usual proby thing where they don't know how to make coffee, or they overfull or overflow the stuff, and they just don't know what they're
Or
doing.
they're just using shit coffee to start.
That is a video. But that's a good, and like that's
Shout out B.
I will not take ownership in not making a good cup of coffee.
He's like, all my shit's bomb.
So
It's the best coffee you've ever had.
What I would say, like, that's another side of the failure too, as far as building a brand and building a business. Like, how do you guys take the negative feedback when someone doesn't like the coffee or someone doesn't like the brand?
We usually think they're dumb.
I love it.
Don't drink our shit and get out of my face.
I was just going to bring this up because you guys asked what our biggest failure was. I was literally just going to bring this up. And now we're really like, you got to be open to criticism because you're going to get a lot of it. But I think our biggest failure was in the beginning. We literally tried to roast the best coffee people can find. So our green bean, our basically our raw bean, we would source like the best shit there was. And we were getting like, you know, these, not to be all hipster, but like Ethiopia, Sadamo, and like Yirga Chefe, like the best shit. And we found these firefighters didn't fucking really want it.
They don't understand.
They don't understand it, but it came with a higher price point. But like it was more of a delicate coffee, so it was like a lighter roast. Like because the early stuff we used to do was like only light, and we would take it to these stations, and this is where it gets funny. Is like we would bring them the top quality we could find, and they would reach out to us and be like, "It tastes sour," and we're like, "What?" And this is where we would get
like, this is the best shit in the game. What do you mean?
And this is where we would get constructive criticism. We'd be like, amongst each other, we'd be like, these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Because it's a light roast. It's more acidic. It's not necessarily sour. It's like, you guys are used to drinking X, but this is like the new generation.
This is like palatable,
it honestly hurt our
specialty grade coffee.
Now, do you guys notice a different way your coffee tastes in the way that you brew it? So, like, some people like the percolator, some people like the pour over, some people like
all firehouses use bun brewers.
Okay.
Which is almost, I would say, standard across like the nation. The funny thing is like while we're talking about like specialty and all these things we're doing, I would go into firehouses and I'd be like, I would take a paper towel and I'd be like, when's the last time you guys cleaned your coffee or your coffee brewer? Never. I would
wait. You have to clean those?
Yeah. Thank you.
I thought the flavor sits in there.
Yeah.
I would literally take a paper towel and wipe the inside like O-ring of like where the water just dripped down, bro.
Just gunk.
Caked. So it was like no wonder your coffee tastes like shit.
You're getting brewed through like 7 years of old ass coffee.
Yeah.
But that
just-
that constructive criticism would like
But we learned from it.
it kind of.
Now, do you guys notice a difference though? Like if you use like a Chemex, like if
yeah.
you just slow pour over and stuff like that, because that will release because those are supposed to like release like the acidics and everything in it and like change the dynamic of the coffee, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like we know where we're at now is the place to be. And what I mean by that is like our coffee is good coffee. I don't care how you brew it. Good luck fucking that up. If you fuck that up, that's on you.
Humble brag.
Probably chewed a
Humble
bunch of coffee
brag.
beans. People are always like, I have whole bean coffee in a bag. I'm like, well, take a hammer, beat the shit out of the bag, and you'll have ground coffee.
Yeah. No, we
They usually think it's funny. If they don't, they probably aren't going to drink our coffee.
we try to
I'm drinking your coffee just from that right now.
I'm trying.
basically we
Black Rifle, don't steal a hammer beating my bag.
fuck. You just gave it away.
Content asshole.
Aw, he's pissed. He's mad.
They'll do it. They'll do it with like a M16. Just fucking-
I think that's a great video. Have you guys done that in a video yet?
It's done.
Not yet.
It's gonna be done before we fucking
Okay.
release this. So
Good,
it's
good.
not by us.
No, by you guys.
It's already been taken now.
We're doing it after the episode. We're going down to the basement.
That's
By the
gonna
way,
be that's
you
gonna be
guys
the
have
1
the
minute.
sickest basement ever.
The bunker.
Dude, your guys' whole is it a brewery?
No, breweries out there.
It's a roaster. What's this called? What would you call it? A coffee house?
Muertos headquarters.
HQ, baby.
Okay, headquarters. The warehouse.
Our nuclear fallout zone right there. Right?
Like how you call it a brewery, there's literally nothing like.
I brewed these.
We're in the warehouse and there's no machinery in here right
I
now.
don't know. my
That's Matt failing again. No worries.
my nomenclature is incorrect here,
All
but
right, we got you.
your guys' downstairs is rad. Like you guys have potential to do like you said, like it looks like it's been burned. Like your coffee,
has.
like your content is super sick to have that down
We
there.
had a ton of ideas to do, but like we started getting into like the weeds with the business, and it's like, fuck, we got to do all this other shit. We got to make sure the business is operating efficiently, and so as many ideas as we had for downstairs, it's like, let's just run what we do.
Like I said, as many ideas as many ideas Doug had.
He gives me that crap all the time.
Yeah.
Wait, how did you guys meet?
So what?
Let's flip the script.
Match.com.
Yeah. Christians mingle.
Due date.
Matt's kind of a hick, so we actually met on farmersonly.com.
Yeah, that's big out here where we're at.
Yeah. Sorry, I take that back. Sorry, this is big farm country out here. No, we actually met through a mutual friend. We actually probably knew each other like long
5 or 6 years.
long before we actually knew each other. We hung out with the same people. We were in the same areas doing the same stuff.
We were like riding, like our buddies. How we met is freestyle motocross. Like one of our buddies is a freestyle motor rider. That's how him and I met.
What kind of bike?
Like
Were you a Yamaha boy?
I was Hondas forever,
Honda, CR.
Cowies for a little bit, and then
Nice.
like KTM's at the end.
Ooh, you had money.
No, we had a buddy that
You rode
rode
the
for
KTM.
KTM. We had a
Oh,
buddy, yeah.
We got the deals. We can't afford those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was funny because like we all rode Jimmy Fitzpatrick's house. Like that was just like the known spot to ride. So like when him and I actually started hanging out, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, like I was at his ride day, or like I was at his birthday." I was like, "Wait, you're at the One Industry shoot?" Yeah, no, I was the dude that crashed and backside the way. He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you now." And like it was funny. Like
You
him
guys
and
were
I,
riding like that.
yeah, we rode like Fitz's house and all those spots, and like it was funny because like him and I realized like we rode together for years before like we actually figured out that we lived.
Your egos didn't let you guys introduce each other.
Well, I don't know how we like legitimately never.
You were waiting
met.
for him to say, "Hey, I'm."
Yeah, I
you
was
were like, "Hey,
I was the
I'm-"
shy one, and I wanted him to make the first move.
Yeah,
I never pulled my helmet back and said, "What's up?"
Never took my goggles and threw him a wink.
yeah.
No, but yeah, it was super weird. Like we knew of each other for years, and then we finally met, and we just started.
Who's a better rider?
Ooh,
Ooh, has anyone ever asked you that yet?
no.
we've
I'm gonna
got-
go ahead and I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm way better than this.
Oh shit!
Clown. I'm way better than
Like,
this clown,
he's definitely worse at like downhill riding than I am. But,
dude. We're gonna bring out photos now after.
But I
this.
fly planes, so
Yeah. No, that's what we did. Like
My plane flies higher than he jumped ever.
yeah, that's
he's
what
only been 40 feet in there. I'm at 30,000.
I'm at cruising altitude. No, that's what he gets.
now.
He gets the plane side of things, and I do the more riding side of things now. But
it was funny though because like we ended up realizing we lived like 20 minutes from each other, right? And like we had no idea forever. Then we realized we live super close. We're like, oh, dude, like you ride dirt jumpers, I ride dirt jumpers, like you ride mountain bikes, like.
Did we just become best friends?
Dude, it kind of was like that, like in a very like weird way.
We had like the same sense of humor. Like literally, like there was stuff that we did, and like our other buddy ended up kind of getting mad at us. But anyways, like he like got like kind of bummed, like we literally like just work off each other, and like we'll feed off each other, and it's just like it's not fun sometimes hanging out with us. How ridiculous we get, you know? Like
I get it.
But yeah, so that's kind of how we like met, and then like he's saying, we just kind of had like the same ideas, and that's kind of how the whole podcast thing just came about. We were literally sitting in my buddy's living room,
a year
Doing-
before we started this.
doing
how
basically
long have you guys
this.
been doing it?
Like actually, we started in
We're not even at a year yet.
no, we're like May. Like May, like we had the idea like May the former year, like May of 19. We had this idea. We were sitting at his buddy's house. His buddy's a stuntman in Hollywood, and we were all sitting there. And his buddy was like, "Dude, I got the mics upstairs. Like, we should do a podcast. It's super easy." And then like we talked about it for another year before we were like, "Dude, why aren't we not like getting on the mic and just doing this? Like, why aren't we just doing it?" And then him and I one night we had a buddy that had a podcast studio up in El Segundo. And so I hit him up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, if you guys want to come up, just bring the memory card, come up." And then our other buddy that was talking about with us didn't show up, and then him and I just went and did an episode. And then we're like, "Dude, that was sick. We got to keep doing this." And then COVID hit, and they were like, they run a screen printing business out there. And business, you know, like you got to be kind of covert on how you run business right now.
Totally.
So they're like, "Hey, like we can't have you like coming up here." I'm like, "Dude, like we just got fired up." And so like I literally hung up the phone call, and before I even called him up to tell him we didn't have a podcast studio anymore, I was like, podcast equipment, bought it online. And I was like, "Hey, we don't have the studio anymore. I just bought all the stuff for us to start a podcast.
That's fucking dope.
I don't even know where we're going to do this at." And then like also in the middle of all this, I was getting kicked out of our house because our landlord was selling our house. And we had no idea where I was even going to live or where we were going to do it. And then my sister and I ended up finding this apartment, and then we had a super small garage, and we're like, "Hey, we're going to do the podcast in the garage. Like, we're going to set it up in my garage."
You guys started putting up the egg cartons?
No, dude,
Lining the walls?
you laugh about that. This thing was so janky, and like we talked about it because we just moved. I had a water heater that I sat right next to that we just barely cut out of frame. There was pipes that made noise.
Yeah, like
we had little like foam on the walls. I brought a carpet. I made the table that we had, like just full balling on a budget.
You guys haven't even, it's like been half a year maybe, and you're sponsored by Manscaped. You guys Manscaped? You guys take care of it?
Oh, we're big Manscaped.
I want to know how you got that sponsored.
So
because,
but just before like we get into this, like he's gonna divulge about our Manscaped sponsorship, but we have a couple other people that help
We don't
us.
shave our beards. I'll tell you that much.
Our buddy literally, we had our buddy Kenny Bell on last week, and you know, he's long hair, full beard, him and I, and he was laughing. He's like, "I think it's funny that you guys are sponsored by Manscaped with all of us sitting here with huge beards." Like, well, it's below the belt, but Devin also like trips out sometimes at like how much like we have been getting hooked up lately, and like we just got a studio, and the buddy of London Boat Rental shout out like hooking us up with the office space. But like it's kind of cool like how stuff has come together. And like Manscaped, the reason we got on with Manscaped because they put a post up on their page saying, "Hey, we need a podcast to sponsor." Randomly, a bunch of our friends saw this and started tagging us in the podcast, and then they reached out. They're like, "Hey, a bunch of your guys' viewers reach out to us and they think we should sponsor you guys. Are you guys interested?" And we're like,
It's crazy how when you start like taking action and putting shit out into existence and like just trying, shit kind of aligns. Even if you're fucking up and failing, like it kind of comes back. And if you put in the effort, you start to see shit more clearly, right? And even if it's not clear, you kind of get past the next step, and then you evolve and you grow, and it like that's fucking tight. I mean, that's a big deal. You guys haven't even been around for half a year.
It's sick, and the guys at Manscaped are really cool. And like he's saying, it was just super weird because we were just in the beginning we had no idea what we were doing, and we were just like,
still don't.
We really don't. We're horrible.
It's so much more solidified because most of the girls that rep this are, Euro wax. So you guys actually can use that thing.
Yeah.
Different.
yeah. So we'll talk about the products and like,
New category.
yeah, no, this is cool, especially for us because we just actually kind of leveled up with Manscaped recently. So we have paid sponsorship with Manscaped right now, and it's really cool that we're able to do that with them. But being able to team up with you guys, especially like just joining the Manscaped team and then you guys doing this whole men's health event, like we're stoked to even bring the product up to you guys and talk about it, because you guys had Men's Health Mag and Movember behind you guys with this. So
something to add on that, just with men's health, we have a lot of firefighters that are out there hurting, man. We're talking about mental health, where we have a lot of firefighters. Unfortunately, we just don't live as long as the average people, right? So you look at the firefighter lifespan, you look at the average lifespan of another person, and it's way short. So, we're getting prostate cancer, we're getting all different types of cancers. So, to do something about Movember, it really shows everybody, hey, go get your checks out. This is about men's health,
Absolutely.
And this is our time to shine. So grow your mustache. I'm going to be like, Dougie Fresh, man, what's up with your little pencil stash? Actually, his is solid. Eli, what's up with your pencil stash?
Pencil stash, what's up?
Dopest I've ever had.
Yeah,
He's about to throw hands right now.
You can, man, but the point is, exactly. But the point is, people are like, oh, what's up with your mustache? You're like, well, actually, I'm doing it for men's health. And I just want to bring it up, this awareness, because I've had a lot of brothers that have gotten, cancer and they've passed away, and unfortunately, we don't live as long. So,
let me step
huge,
in
man,
as an outsider looking in, because these guys live the shit and I don't. But I interact with these guys every day. And the shit that they tell me, I'm like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
And like, this is just life for you guys. But like, so these kind of like working with these foundations is like, it's super insightful because, and it's like a good cause, because like touching on what Brian's saying is like, a lot of this shit gets overlooked, especially for men. Because men are just taught to suck it up.
Yep.
Yeah, we're supposed to be tough.
But like the shit that you guys deal with, because I can say this because I'm an outsider. I'm not a firefighter, but I'm around these guys every day. And their world is different than, I should say all first responders' world is different than the normal civilian, because they're dealing with shit that we don't deal with.
Yeah.
And we take it for granted. And so like when we can get involved and like step up to this kind of shit, it's like, you guys take it for granted, but like us outsiders, it's like, this is real shit.
Well, it's kind of funny too, because like definitely you guys with smoke inhalation and like everything that you guys could be exposed to, going into old buildings that have asbestos that are burning, that you guys got to go. Like you guys know when everyone's running away, you guys are running into the problem, right? And like aviation, we have this kind of same attitude that like the more we start learning about certain stuff in aviation, our job's trying to kill us all the time. So like they start talking about like every time that we cross the North Atlantic going over the ocean, it's like equivalent to getting a chest x-ray and like all the radiation that we're getting exposed to. And you like, it's like, oh, I'm a pilot and I fly airplanes. But then like you fly with someone one day that's like the morbid pilot, and he starts telling us like all the radiation, everything that I'm exposed to. I'm like, cool. So I'm going to live till I'm 38 years old, like sick, like, but yeah, like men's health is often like very much ignored, and like we don't talk about this side of it. And
so that's a prime example. Like I didn't know that. And so I think that's what happens in the world that we live in, is there's all the unknown that's not discussed and all the things that people don't understand or know. And that is what Muertos is about, is because we are really trying to like bring that awareness and work with these different places and different people and do the right things, because one, firefighters are always going to step up when that emergency, right? 911, whatever it might be, as well as cops and any first responders or anything, right?
thank you guys for your service too.
No,
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
Hats off.
No, thank everybody else.
Your hat's still on, man.
Yeah. but what it comes down to is like we do get exposed and we do have these things, but really like we are always the ones that are stepping up or trying to step up, and that is a lot of like the hiring process are just individuals. Like there is a certain type of person that is willing to step up, do these things, be a part of stuff, volunteer their time, and it is why camaraderie and the brotherhood or sisterhood or whatever it might be is such a thing, is because we actually like share these things that people don't understand or don't get. Yeah. And so, but I was bringing that up because I didn't even think about that with like being a pilot. Like I didn't know that you guys have those exposures, those things, and people don't know that about firefighters. They do know that we are more exposed to cancer and all these other things because it's starting to be publicized. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, like, how do we as firemen step up for each other? It's always the, oh shit, GoFundMe, and it's not how we should be operating. The operation should be like, we got your back all the time and we're going to make this shit happen. And that's what we're doing. We are making shit happen. And so That's why we surround ourselves with these
Yeah.
motherfuckers that make shit
What's
happen.
cool about like make shit happen and joining this squad and this family and this culture that we've created, these guys have created, and I've been blessed to be a part of. I mean, it's like there's always something on the radar. Last month it was breast cancer, you know. This month is Movember, you know, and it's about men's health. I'm calling it mental health. Fortunately, we've had some brothers that have taken their life last year that could have been helped, man, could have been saved. So in my fire department, we're starting a support group, a Facebook group, just a message, hey, this is what's going on. Next on the radar is the Christmas holiday season. We got the toy drive, right? So these guys got something on the radar. I'm here to help message that. I want to show the insider look of Muertos Coffee, right? I want to show our firefighters working. I want to show the flame. I want to show the helmet cam. I want to show the tiller boys. We've done some really cool projects so far. We got a really talented team. We got my boy Brad Akers from San Francisco Fire. We got our boy John Feld. He's killing it. So it's a really big team, and it's always something on the radar. You know, sometimes Eli says, hey guys, it's Tuesday at noon. He says, hey, 1 p.m. Zoom meeting, jump on, right? We jump on, and then all of a sudden these guys are working with the CSFA and working with the union, you know. I think the goal is also to just get in the firehouses and show the firefighters that we're here for them, you know, and to give back. So it's pretty cool. What's next, Eli? You know, what's next, Doug? We got something up our sleeve. Let's do it, you know?
Absolutely. And what I was going to say too is that, I mean, you said you run multiple pages, and one of those is the Bay Area Fire page.
Yeah.
And you post, which I love this term, you post what you call fire porn. And it's like, it's the craziest, gnarliest photos of like fires going on. Like that stuff's actually happening. And there's pictures of your guys, you know, fighting these gnarly fires. And I mean, it's it's funny that you can use the term fire porn, but like, what people don't realize is that shit is going on. Right, you can't hashtag it, but
I've hashtagged it and people are like, that's really inappropriate.
You can't say that, yeah.
And please don't use fire porn, and I'll never use it again.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm saying this conversation.
Right, I just love
no
that.
hashtag. Do not hashtag.
I love the way you describe it as that, but
when you said the mountains are burning, I thought about Grown Ups when the kid was like, look at those two mountains that look like, you know what?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love it. Yeah.
I love boobies.
Oh, that was in Role Models.
Role Models.
Role Models. Yeah, Role Models. Yeah.
yeah.
You think I didn't see those 32 C's?
But no, like, I mean, fire, my family's fire and police. My cousin's police force, my brother-in-law's fire with Alco. But, like, even as me as a kid, like, dude, September 11th happened for me when I was a freshman in high school, and I was sitting in class watching the towers fall. Like, it was a very traumatic experience. And, like, dude, like, I was in high school, and I remember that. And I remember, like, I was like, I always wanted to be a pilot, right? And I wanted to be a crop duster. But then, like, another side of me came in.
I love how he laughs, and I was just about to laugh too and be like, bro, you low-key are a crop duster.
But, you know, like, but, like,
crop dusting me on the way
like,
here. What do you mean?
One of, like, my biggest things with flying has been, like, being an air attack pilot. And, like, dude, I apply with DynCorp, which is the CDF contract for fire. Like, I've been trying to get on for years, but, like, that side of fire is always just, like, going in and you're going to help people. Like, there's always something intertwined to me that's always been like, dude, I want to be that person that's going to help something. And, like, I was a fire explorer in high school. Like, I went down with Hayward Fire, and I was a fire explorer for a couple of years with them. And it was fun because, like, the fire explorers back then, like, they actually did the burning building with us. They would actually, like, put us in the search and rescue and smoke a building out and put a hood over our head. Dude, we were, like, 14, 15 years old, like, going in.
Sounds safe.
Hayward's tower burns really hot, too. It's got torn down. They're building a new one. But
Yeah,
that's one
no.
of the hottest towers around.
Oh, dude, like, I did all this stuff. Like, we were doing this as, like, 15. I don't know if they still do that with
Tower's
explorers, but, like, when we were 14, 15 years old, early 2000s, like, they were doing this stuff with us. So, but, like, I mean, hats off to you guys all day for doing this. And Manscaped is behind men's health, and part of their proceeds actually go to testicular cancer and go towards men's health. And, like, we're trying to raise the awareness as we can too. So, like, partnering up with you guys, we are stoked, and hopefully people will listen to this and see, like, what you guys stand for, and, like, hopefully they'll listen and hear something more.
Yeah, we need to get Manscaped in the firehouses for the boys.
I think we need to get Manscaped with Muertos collab and in the firehouses. But, like, what do we do with Manscaped? Let's talk about that for a second.
I listened to their CEO talk for a while, and
Paul Thorne?
yeah, listening to his, like, growth trajectory and, like, basically the failures and how they...
We're trying to get him on the podcast, by the way, right now. I
mean,
I reached out the other day to try to get him on here.
I mean, they got big quick.
They got big really quick.
But, like, there was a series of, like, failures, and I think I was listening to him on the Founder podcast, and, like, you know, there's all this uncertainty all the time, and it's good to see how big they are now and, like, kind of their revenue. But, like, listening to him, he wasn't sure for a while, and then you just fucking hit a growth trajectory.
And now
take
look,
off.
they got a full lineup, and actually, I think I'm gonna run in here and do a quick little plug for Manscaped boys, because Christmas is right around the corner, and I mean, I don't know if you guys do it in the firehouse, but if you need to hook up the boys,
That's the best place to do it. You know, if you need to escape and you're like, man, where's the captain now? He's been in the shower for an hour, and he comes out and he shaves his whole body. You know, I can show out. You know, Justin Hoagland, Dan Burke. You guys know who you are. You guys are shaving your bodies, man. He's one of the most beautiful male. He's one of the most beautiful males you'll ever
beat your ass, man. That's
He's one of the most
fighter right there.
Yeah, Justin's one of the most beautiful people I know. You know, but
Justin is a beast, dude. Yeah.
he's a beast. You know, and Justin. He does a lot
Castor
for
Valley boy.
Yep, CV, BD. Yep. So no, it's all good. Back to the firefighter, Bay Area firefighter. You know, I really don't even like letting people know that. You know, I helped create this brand. I was in St. Patty's in Boston, and I ran into Chief Miller. And I'm at a bar and we're talking. He's like, "Hey, do you follow my Instagram page?" And I'm like, "Oh."
Chief Miller's a badass.
I go, man. I just joined Instagram. It just was sold for $1 billion to Facebook. You know, so I got on that and I saw Chief Miller, and I'm like, he's like. We're talking, and I'm like, I should do a Bay Area firefighter one, because there's so many phenomenal fire departments in the Bay Area, in the Sacramento County, north, south, you know, of California, and it's like we're doing great things, but it's not about me, man. This page is about the brotherhood. It's about the sisterhood. We support the blue. Anything that's cool, anything I see and I think it's going to go viral, we post it up. And I think we've been responsible for adding a lot of likes and followers for the fire department, you know. There's also other pages we collaborate with. There's a lot of talented firefighters. And at the firehouse, you're there for 48 hours. We all want to be entrepreneurs. We all want to be that Eli. It's like, hey, I got a coffee company. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, I own a Mr. Pickles. We're all trying to get our side hustle on.
oh, what?
Yeah.
It's a sandwich house, dude. You ain't never been
Shout
to
out
sandwich house?
Manscaped with the Mr. Pickles.
Manscaped, but you know what is it? Is it deck the balls or jingle balls, or what are we going with here?
Yeah. So I mean, like I was saying, Christmas is right around the corner, and I mean, what's better than giving the gift of keeping your jingle balls trimmed up and looking nice? You know, you got to give the boys in your life. Yeah, check them out. You got to give the gift that keeps on giving, and what's better than the Perfect Package 3.0? Comes with the new lawnmower that they are holding up right here.
Does it cut the balls?
Oh, no.
We got skin tape. Yeah. Skin safe technology behind these.
Yeah, so
I have one of those, but fuck, man, it gets the nuts, dude.
yeah. So you can't be
There we
using the same one you use on your face.
I know.
Because they got the skin safe
know.
technology. You're not nicking the balls. You're not doing anything. I almost said, "Did you hear that?" Whoa.
I think everybody caught on to the
I didn't.
lick.
Hey, whoa.
No, I've nicked the balls. I know exactly. What
Exactly.
You're saying.
So you
we
need.
talk about manscaping, right? We talk about shaving your body, okay? I'm an Italian. Dougie Fresh and I were probably at Walgreens about 20 years ago, and we're like, oh, we're gonna get some hair clippers. And you start going down there, you start nipping it up. You know what I mean? I think this Manscaped is definitely built to really shave you in the right way. So.
And exactly, and like we're saying, it's got the skin safe technology. You're
Great
not
for the gooch.
You're not nicking anything downstairs that you don't want to nick. They got all sorts of other products. I mean, you
Hey.
got.
Whacker.
Saint Nick didn't want to nick his nuts.
Oh my God!
Look at this guy.
Hey, hire me, fucking
Wow.
Manscaped. What's up? Netscape.com. Early
Damn.
internet. Let's
We
go.
got the weed whacker.
Dingle bells.
So this is their new product as well.
Bells.
Dingle bells. Jesus.
Dude, we talked about a dingle. Remember we talked about the dingle ball detangler?
What did you just say to me?
The dingle ball.
Just you got it. You're clipped. You're done.
Dingleberry detangler. There
Let
we
me
go.
let me finish. Let me finish my Manscaped stuff. All right. But this is their newest product that they just came out with. It's called the Weed Whacker. It's their nose and ear trimmer. Same thing. Skin safe technology. You're not nicking the the sensitive face holes that you don't want to touch. What you got
I
for
got
me?
an idea.
Hey,
what was Dumb and Dumber's car? Nuts cuts.
Yeah.
We got nuts cuts, baby.
Nuts. I don't want to be in. I don't know if I want to be involved in that business though. That's,
What do you think those are for? Those are cutting the nuts.
No,
these are. That's
Those
for
are,
cutting the nuts.
those are
These
cutting
are
the nuts.
cutters.
These are for the sensitive face holes,
Nuts
like I'm
cuts
saying.
is pretty good.
Nuts.
Just wait till Doug drives around with a truck with nuts on it.
Yeah, it's just a big ball
Instead
bag.
of flappy ears, it's flappy nut.
Oh
ball
my
sacks just off
God,
to the side.
we're on something. But they got all sorts of other products too. I
I
mean,
hope
they
your other
got
podcast turned out. Like this.
they got the crop preserver, crop reviver, which are
What about the
a
crotch
ball.
preserver
What
or the crotch reviver?
crop? crop.
That's for the gooch. We got gooches.
Yeah.
You basically would use the crop preserver on that. That's your ball deodorant.
You got a ball deodorant and
Anti-chafing.
yeah.
Anti-chafing. Nice.
So you got ball deodorant because it's like you put deodorant on your armpits, those stink. So do the balls. Why are you not putting deodorant on those? That's what you think. That's what you think.
They also make boxers that have a nice little pouch for your nuts.
That's a good idea.
Those are awesome.
But what you guys got to know is that we also have a promo code. And if you head to Manscaped right now, use promo code FAIL at checkout. You'll get 20% off and free shipping. So head to manscaped.com right now. Use promo code FAIL at checkout. And I mean, let the boys at the Firehouse know because you can hook them up. You can hook them up.
I think I saw you featured on Barry Firefighter Instagram.
I think we did get featured on.
Yeah, low-key humble brag.
Shave the balls so you can smash the walls.
Dude, so you could deck the halls.
Famous.
Shave the balls.
Shave your balls so you can deck the halls. We're done with the holiday puns, I think. Take this away from us.
Oh man, but no, I mean, guys, I'm stoked that you guys had us up here. It's been really rad talking about Muertos coffee. When did you guys start, by the way? We haven't. How many years are you guys into this?
Yeah,
As far as paying taxes on the LLC, it's like 2017. But as a real business, I'd say 18 months.
18 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You guys have done great. Like, it was rad just you guys having your coffee out there for people to come up and grab today, pour a cup. Your coffee is delicious. I mean,
thank you.
It's very, very good coffee, and I love the brand. I love where'd you guys come up with is this the Skull Firefighter just from Day of the Dead and like Muertos being dead, or was there like an actual
we are the originators of the skull
right. Tell 'em.
and red helmet, like the firefighter branding, like for coffee. That is us.
Okay.
That's who we are, and we are about being original, stepping up to the plate, being original on how we do stuff too, and like working with the right people and doing the right things.
Our
And
brand has never changed.
I think that's really what sets us apart is we are original. We are trying to always make a difference and step up. And we're excited to continue to do so for years and years to come, and just work with great people. I mean, that's really what it's about, is changing the game.
Name and logo. Dia de los Muertos played a big part for sure. But like, I know for me in the name, like, the idea behind Muertos was like, for me, I drink coffee every day, every morning, and I feel dead every morning if I don't drink coffee. And like, I'm dependent. I wouldn't have graduated college without coffee. I love coffee. Like, it was the only thing that I knew I needed every day besides water. And so, like, I swear to God, like, I've gone days where I haven't eaten food, but like coffee, no. Like, that's my yeah. This is the original right here, the original art.
Oh.
But
He's been dedicated. He got that tatted.
But like Muertos, like without
it.
the coffee in the morning, I just kind of felt like I was missing and I wasn't alive, and hence Muertos coffee.
Dude, I think there's a lot of like, just from that, like, there's a lot of cool video content. Like, my brain's always thinking content and different ideas. Like, there's definitely a lot of really cool and funny stuff you guys could do with this on a cool budget too.
Please share, man. Please share.
I mean, I'd rather not share it on the podcast, but I'll share it off air, maybe.
Hey, what do you mean? You're like the king of sharing ideas on here, and then I'm like, yeah, cool, Matt. Everyone knows now, and you just release your idea, and someone's gonna
those
swoop
are my
you.
own ideas for people to steal. I don't want to like give away like ideas for like an actual business, right?
Send me that 2 a.m. Text message.
Hey, going back to at night, I mean, if you look at my phone, I'm a sociopath because I have conversations with myself at night, and it's because sometimes it's easier to text myself than to write in my notes.
I love this.
Because I used to think I was cocky and be like, I'll remember this in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what was it? And I'm just laying in bed when I wake up, and you forget a lot.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes I test myself, and I'm like 80% failure rate. But if it's so good, like there's been times where I wake up, like I've hit him up. My fiance, she just walked out, but like there was a time. There's been ideas that I knew were so good. They ended up getting trademarked the very next day. Like, because they're good fucking ideas, but it's usually like as I'm falling asleep. It always hits me as I'm falling asleep because that's when you're kind of like conscious, subconscious. That's when your brain gets active.
Yeah, you're getting ready to go dream. You're going into REM.
Dude, I used to like experiment with lucid dreaming and shit, and like
Here we go.
Yeah. But I love that shit because I love.
I like how we both look at each other and we're like,
It's
These
true.
two,
Trust me,
Jesus.
it's real. But like, I got to the point now where like she'll get mad at me, but like I'll roll over and I have to get on my phone because I know I'm gonna forget it. And so I either write it. I have full on conversations with myself in my text messages. I'll be honest.
And I'm gonna be honest, that is probably some weirdest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. But that's how I remember shit.
Hey, if it works, I mean,
You just start calling him and leaving him like 30-minute voicemails in the middle of the night, just telling him your whole idea. He just wakes up. He's like, really?
No, I'm calling myself and leaving a voicemail answering. Doug?
he wakes up in the morning, he's like, oh,
Who
6
called
missed
me?
call? Oh, those are all me. Never mind.
I called myself.
Never
I
mind.
wouldn't even answer it. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to hear your stupid voice. But I'll read it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, Doug's a true entrepreneur, man, and this team is awesome. Thanks again, everybody, for checking us out. I don't know, did you guys want me to wrap it up, or I mean, are we just gonna sit here for 4 more hours?
No, I mean, we
You know,
we
I
I can sit
definitely
here forever. I got to hit the
I can
head
sit
for
here.
sure.
we definitely
You know,
could
do you want me
sit
to?
here.
I mean, I'm kind of I got the mouthpiece, man. I got
No, definitely.
Can we live stream with the Mike Tyson fight on right there? And like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no,
like,
we-
see, that's like our favorite part about this too, especially like when we getting on with like companies like you guys as you're growing, is like being able to have this space available to like come back at more episodes and just like let our viewers see like you guys grow and let's just
Evolution.
shows us grow. Like it's really cool to like kind of have like that never ending story, right? And like the next time we come, like you
shout
guys
out
are gonna
Falcor.
you guys are going to be like in another environment, another state of business that we're going to be able to tap into, you know, or maybe it's just like California is awesome because we burned so well. So you guys could just always have stories of just like crazy wildfire experiences. Like we don't know what that next episode is going to be. Like you guys might just be coming out of a gnarly wildfire or whatever, or you guys just launch something really cool. Like, but there's always that evolving story, and you guys just have such good content that we could feed off of, from Firehouse to wildfires and the coffee and supporting the brotherhood. Like there's so many episodes we can build with you guys.
Man, you guys have been doing a great job. I've been following you right off the bat, and I appreciate you guys.
Maybe we'll
Yeah.
come down to SoCal.
Yeah, dude,
I
and
think
like
you guys have an opportunity being like the first big traveling podcast. That'd be badass. I don't know
That-
if anyone's doing that.
I
'Cause everyone's
mean-
always stationary. But like the idea that you guys can actually go spots, that might be a big.
yeah,
opportunity.
we definitely are having fun being able to travel and do all this and like meet face to face with awesome people like you guys. And you know, again,
if-
thank you.
You guys ever want to pick us up in your
In the jet.
Gulfstream?
In the
Yeah.
yeah, when we
We'll
get
go
the
to Cabo.
When we get
do
the
this.
company jet, you
Yeah,
know.
when we
If it's
get the-
not yours, it's cool.
when we get the Just Another Failure plane, we'll let you guys know.
Sick.
You'll
But
get
yeah,
a-
I mean, if you guys are ever down in Long Beach, anywhere, come hit us up. We have some pretty cool contacts with business that we would love to wrap you guys involved with down there. And we're always looking to network other people together. So, like, please, we have some pretty cool opportunities for our guests to come and cool experiences for you guys to use and build content. So, always hit us up if you're down there. We'll always do our best to meet up and make something happen.
Solid.
yeah,
Hey,
and
we gotta get a selfie here real quick because this is like awesome.
Oh, we actually do one too.
yeah,
like,
we'll do one at the end real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah,
But yeah, I was gonna say like you guys could definitely mid podcast we're doing this. I love it. No, but I was gonna say we could talk to you guys honestly for hours. You guys are awesome, and thank you for obviously on the firefighter side of things, everything that you guys do, because you guys are absolute badasses. On the coffee side of things, you guys are making some insane coffee, so keep that up.
On the men's health side of things,
yeah.
like, thank you for bringing awareness. And
Yeah, thanks for doing everything you
pushing
do
that
with
as
that
well.
too. And
We also have some shit coming out in 2021 Q1. Look for it. That's gonna like be pushing the boundaries of coffee. I'm not gonna get too much. I'm not gonna be getting too much into it,
Yeah.
but like we have some cool shit that's coming.
yeah.
awesome.
Like for real.
We can't wait. And
Yeah,
hopefully
well-
we'll come back up when you guys release that, or you guys are down with us and bring it to us and we'll talk about it, man.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on, and again, thanks to Manscaped, thanks to everybody else that supports us, Boost Oxygen, 30 Seconds Out, everybody that's watching
London
every
Boat
week.
Rentals,
Yeah, London Boat Rentals for our new
Cryptech.
place.
Hit
Yeah.
up muertoscoffeeco.com. Muertos15 for that discount. And support first responders and people around the nation to make a big difference.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much, and thanks to everybody for watching, and we'll be back next week.
Appreciate you guys.
Later, guys.
Brad,
Thank you.
see ya.
That was bad.
Yeah.